we have witnessed an unprecedented military engagement that marks a significant turning point in the Ukraine conflict. North Korean troops in Ukraine faced their first major combat disaster as Ukrainian forces successfully neutralized a substantial portion of their fighting force in a decisive battle near the Kursk region. Our analysis reveals this confrontation represents more than just another skirmish in the ongoing conflict. The presence of North Korean soldiers in Ukraine, fighting alongside Russian forces, has transformed this regional conflict into a more complex international crisis. This engagement not only demonstrates the expanding scope of the war but also raises serious questions about the effectiveness of North Korean military support for Russian operations. Our intelligence reports confirm the first direct military engagement between Ukrainian and North Korean forces in Russia's Kursk region. We've documented that approximately 11,000 North Korean troops moved into the area, marking an unprecedented deployment of foreign forces on Russian soil. The initial combat operations began in early November 2024, with Ukrainian forces encountering North Korean units, fighting alongside Russian naval infantry brigades. We've confirmed that the engagement occurred in the village of Marino, within the Kursk border region, where Ukrainian forces maintained strategic positions. North Korean forces seemed unprepared for what they were about to face. The language barrier, fighting in completely new terrain, and having to deal with lethal Ukrainian drones caused the forces to suffer significant casualties from the precision strikes of Ukraine. Up to 500 North Korean troops were killed in a single devastating attack using British Storm Shadow missiles. One high-ranking North Korean official was confirmed dead in the command headquarters strike. The attack targeted a command facility that housed both Russian and North Korean officers. We've identified several key factors contributing to Ukrainian engagement success. Our military analysts confirm that Ukrainian forces effectively employed advanced Western-supplied weaponry, particularly the Storm Shadow missiles, which demonstrated remarkable precision in targeting the command structure. The Ukrainian military's superior intelligence gathering capabilities enabled them to identify and strike the North Korean command headquarters with devastating accuracy. The engagement represents a significant setback for the North Korean deployment, which consists of approximately 5 units, each comprising around 3,000 soldiers. We've observed that these forces, despite their numerical strength, face considerable challenges against Ukraine's modern warfare capabilities. The Ukrainian military's ability to execute precise strikes has proven particularly effective against the North Korean units, which are still adapting to the complex battlefield environment. Our assessment indicates that this engagement has had a substantial impact on North Korean morale, with reports suggesting that some soldiers have already attempted to desert their positions. The Ukrainian military's tactical superiority in this region has been further demonstrated by their ability to maintain effective artillery coverage while minimizing their casualties during these operations. Our latest intelligence assessment reveals an unprecedented military cooperation between North Korea and Russia, with significant force deployment in the Ukrainian conflict. We've confirmed through multiple sources that North Korea has dispatched between 11,000 to 12,000 troops to support Russian operations. We've identified that the North Korean contingent includes elite units from the Storm Corps specially trained for infiltration and assassination missions. These forces represent some of the best trained and well-fed units in the North Korean military structure. The deployment includes approximately 500 officers and several generals, demonstrating a significant command presence in the operation. Multiple intelligence sources have revealed extensive training activities taking place in the Russian Far East, where North Korean forces are receiving specialized instruction. They are being trained in artillery use and tactical maneuvers. They are analyzing drone operations. They are also being trained in basic infantry tactics, trench warfare, and modern combat systems integration. Based on publicly available information, it is evident that Russian forces have fully equipped North Korean units with Russian uniforms and standard-issue equipment. The integration process has involved the direct incorporation of these units into Russian airborne and marine formations. Additionally, they have been supplied with Russian-made weaponry, including AK-12 rifles, mortars, and anti-tank equipment. These North Korean units have also been assigned specific operational zones within the Kursk region. According to some sources, Kim Yong-bok, the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Korean People's Army, is overseeing the North Korean contingent, suggesting a high level of operational autonomy while still coordinating with Russian command structures. The troops have been issued identification documents from Russian regions like Yakutia and Buryatia to maintain operational security. This deployment marks a significant escalation in the internationalization of the conflict, with our sources indicating that these forces are being prepared for frontline operations. We've noted that while language and cultural barriers present initial challenges, the high degree of compatibility between North Korean and Russian weapons systems has facilitated smoother integration than initially anticipated. Ukraine has launched a sophisticated counter-operation in the Kursk region, implementing a multifaceted strategy against North Korean and Russian forces. Military planners have developed an innovative approach combining traditional warfare with modern psychological operations. Ukraine's forces have achieved significant military success by establishing a crucial buffer zone in the Kursk region, having captured over 1,300 square kilometers of strategically important territory. This area holds immense strategic value for a variety of reasons. Firstly, it poses a direct threat to vital Russian logistical routes, disrupting key infrastructure that is critical for supplying Russian forces in the region, including essential electrical and gas hubs. These facilities play a pivotal role in sustaining Russian operations, and their vulnerability has now been exposed. Secondly, Ukraine's forces have successfully carried out targeted strikes, destroying several key supply bridges and a major oil depot. These actions have severely hampered Russia's ability to resupply its troops, cutting off important routes and resources that are necessary to maintain its military presence in the area. As a result, Ukraine has not only expanded its territorial control, but has also struck at the heart of Russian logistics, significantly weakening its operational capacity. Ukraine has successfully implemented a highly sophisticated interior line strategy, which has proven to be a crucial factor in the effectiveness of its military operations. This strategy has provided them with several key tactical advantages that have greatly enhanced their ability to respond to dynamic battlefield conditions. One of the primary benefits has been the establishment of short and secure communication routes, which allow for rapid coordination between units and enable more efficient decision-making. The strategy also enables Ukraine to quickly concentrate forces in critical areas, allowing for a swift buildup of strength when needed, giving them the upper hand in key confrontations. Furthermore, it has enhanced their defensive positioning, allowing them to fortify and hold strategic locations with greater ease and effectiveness. The ability to quickly respond to enemy movements has been another critical advantage, enabling Ukrainian forces to adapt and counteract swiftly, keeping their adversaries off balance. In addition to their military tactics, Ukraine has also employed an effective psychological warfare campaign, particularly aimed at North Korean troops. This campaign has yielded significant results in terms of demoralizing and disrupting enemy morale. To achieve this, Ukraine has deployed Korean-language leaflets and videos, which have served as powerful tools to influence and dishearten North Korean soldiers. Moreover, the I Want to Live surrender program has been particularly effective, offering North Korean troops a compelling incentive to lay down their arms and avoid further conflict. This initiative is complemented by the distribution of tactical surrender instructions, providing clear and safe instructions for those wishing to surrender. Ukraine has also extended guarantees of shelter, food, and medical services to those who choose to surrender, ensuring their safety and well-being, further encouraging defections and weakening enemy resolve. Through this combination of military strategy and psychological warfare, Ukraine has gained a significant advantage on the battlefield, undermining the strength of its adversaries while strengthening its position. Ukraine has established an extensive and sophisticated surveillance network throughout the region, which has proven invaluable in its operations. This network allows for real-time monitoring of enemy movements and communications, providing Ukrainian forces with critical intelligence. Their intelligence operations have been highly effective, with reports confirming that approximately 350 enemy troops have already surrendered as a direct result of Ukraine's psychological warfare efforts. The ability to track the movements of North Korean units has also been a major advantage, enabling Ukraine to implement precise and effective tactical responses. By closely monitoring these units, Ukraine has been able to stay one step ahead, anticipating and countering enemy actions with remarkable accuracy. Furthermore, Ukraine's counter-operations have forced Russia to make significant strategic adjustments, including the redirection of about 30,000 troops from eastern Ukraine to reinforce the Kursk region. This large-scale redeployment has not only strained Russian forces but also opened up new strategic opportunities for Ukraine to exploit. By maintaining a constant flow of actionable intelligence, Ukraine has ensured that it retains the upper hand in this shifting battlefield. Their intelligence capabilities have allowed them to pinpoint specific North Korean units and identify their integration points with Russian forces, providing vital information for tactical planning. In addition to tracking their movements in temporarily occupied areas, Ukraine has been able to gather concrete evidence of North Korean troops' direct involvement in combat operations. The effectiveness of Ukraine's strategy is demonstrated by the disruption they have caused in enemy operations. One of the most significant achievements has been exposing vulnerabilities within the command structure of Russian and North Korean forces. Intelligence gathered by Ukraine reveals that communication breakdowns between these two forces have resulted in severe operational challenges. These challenges have created exploitable weaknesses, which Ukraine has continued to target through carefully coordinated tactical operations. This combination of superior intelligence gathering, psychological warfare, and strategic exploitation has allowed Ukraine to stay on the offensive and maintain a decisive tactical advantage over its adversaries. Based on Ukraine's comprehensive battlefield analysis, we've identified critical factors affecting the performance of North Korean troops in Ukraine. Our assessment reveals a complex interplay of military capabilities, equipment effectiveness, and environmental challenges that are shaping the conflict's dynamics. Our evaluation shows that while North Korea possesses the world's fourth largest military with nearly 1.3 million active personnel, its troops face significant operational challenges. We've observed that these forces, despite being drawn from their elite Storm Corps units, lack modern combat experience. However, we've noted that these soldiers are trained to withstand a high degree of physical pain and psychological torture, which could prove advantageous in sustained operations. A key insight from our analysis reveals that North Korean troops have been strategically organized into two separate operational groups, each with distinct roles and responsibilities. The first group consists of assault units, which are primarily tasked with engaging in direct combat operations. These units are deployed on the front lines and are responsible for executing offensive maneuvers, including attacks on Ukrainian positions and other high-value targets. Their main objective is to push back enemy forces and secure ground in contested regions, often operating in intense and high-risk environments. The second group is made up of support units which are assigned to provide security in areas that have been recaptured or temporarily held by Russian forces. These units are tasked with maintaining control over these territories, ensuring that they remain secure from any potential counterattacks or uprisings. Their role is critical in stabilizing regions that have been reclaimed, and they are responsible for safeguarding infrastructure, conducting patrols, and supporting logistical operations within these areas. By maintaining security in these regions, the support units enable Russian and North Korean forces to maintain a presence and prepare for future operations. The division of North Korean troops into these two specialized groups highlights a deliberate and organized approach to their military deployment. The assault units focus on offensive actions, while the support units concentrate on consolidation and stability in the rear areas. This strategic division ensures that North Korean forces can operate effectively across multiple fronts, with each group fulfilling a unique and complementary role in the broader military campaign. We've documented that Moscow has equipped North Korean forces with a comprehensive arsenal of Russian-made weapons and equipment. Primary weapons: AK-12 rifles, standard Russian service weapon; Ripke machine guns; Speed SVEF sniper rifles; Phoenix anti-tank guided missiles; ROP-7 launchers; support equipment; night vision devices; thermal imagers; collimator optical sights; advanced binoculars. A comprehensive field assessment has revealed significant challenges for North Korean forces operating within Ukraine's battlefield environment. These troops, who have primarily been trained in mountainous terrains, are now faced with the largely flat plains that dominate much of Ukraine's battle space. This stark geographical contrast presents substantial tactical difficulties for their units, as the terrain they are now operating in requires different skills and strategies compared to their previous experiences. The terrain-related challenges are further compounded by several operational factors. One of the most prominent issues is the North Korean forces' limited familiarity with modern warfare techniques, which are essential for effective engagement in Ukraine's highly dynamic combat environment. Additionally, these forces face difficulties in adapting to drone warfare, a critical element of contemporary combat. The use of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, by Ukrainian forces, particularly FPV first-person view drones, has proven to be a significant challenge for North Korean troops, who lack experience encountering these advanced technologies. Furthermore, communication barriers with Russian command structures have added another layer of complexity to their operations, hindering coordination and timely decision-making. While North Korean troops are known for their strong physical conditioning and disciplined training, their ability to adapt to Ukraine's combat environment remains a considerable challenge. The battlefield dynamics are particularly difficult due to the widespread use of advanced NATO-supplied weaponry, which includes precision-guided munitions and high-tech artillery, as well as the effective deployment of drones. These are technologies that the North Korean forces have had limited exposure to, further exacerbating their operational difficulties. The Russian military has made efforts to mitigate some of these challenges through specialized training programs. These programs have focused on artillery operations, drone warfare tactics, and basic infantry operations, aiming to bring North Korean units up to speed with the demands of the Ukrainian battlefield. Despite these efforts, however, the language barrier between the North Korean troops and Russian commanders, along with the North Koreans' unfamiliarity with Russian military systems and protocols, continues to limit their combat effectiveness. While their integration into Russian command structures is progressing, this collaboration still faces notable operational constraints, which hinder their overall efficiency on the front. The international community has mobilized swiftly in response to North Korea's unprecedented military involvement in Ukraine. The United States has assumed a central role in organizing and coordinating the Western response to the ongoing conflict, with Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin underscoring the strong and unshakable ironclad alliance between the U.S. and South Korea. This relationship has been a cornerstone of the broader strategy employed by the West in addressing the situation. Several key initiatives have been documented as part of the West's collective efforts to support Ukraine and maintain regional stability. One of the most notable actions has been the significant increase in security assistance provided to Ukraine. The United States, in coordination with its allies, has ramped up its military and financial support to help Ukraine counter the ongoing aggression it faces. This surge in assistance is aimed at bolstering Ukraine's defensive capabilities and enabling its forces to maintain resilience in the face of the conflict. In addition to this, the United States has worked closely with South Korea and Japan, fostering enhanced trilateral cooperation among these nations. This collaboration has extended beyond just military matters, with the countries deepening their diplomatic, economic, and intelligence-sharing ties. By strengthening this trilateral partnership, the U.S. has sought to ensure a unified and effective response to any emerging threats, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, where tensions have been rising. A key aspect of this cooperation has been the expansion of information sharing among Western allies. The United States has played a pivotal role in facilitating the exchange of critical intelligence, ensuring that its allies are well informed and able to coordinate more effectively. This enhanced collaboration has allowed for more timely and strategic decision-making about both the conflict in Ukraine and broader geopolitical developments. Furthermore, the United States has initiated a comprehensive review and implementation of new sanctions measures. These considerations are aimed at tightening the economic pressure on adversarial states, particularly Russia, while also addressing any gaps in existing sanctions frameworks. By adapting and expanding sanctions, the U.S. seeks to further isolate Russia economically and strategically, aiming to weaken its ability to continue its aggressive actions while demonstrating the strength of Western unity. Through these multifaceted initiatives, the United States has reinforced its leadership role in shaping the Western response and ensuring that its allies are aligned in their efforts. There has been a marked shift in South Korea's military support policy, with President Yoon Suk-yeol publicly declaring that Seoul won't sit idle as North Korean troops become involved in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. This statement signals a significant change in South Korea's approach to the situation. According to reliable sources, South Korea has already provided substantial assistance to Ukraine, including humanitarian aid and non-lethal military supplies valued at USD $394 million. This package includes protective gear and medical supplies, essential for the safety and well-being of Ukrainian forces, as well as demining vehicles and financial contributions aimed at supporting Ukraine's broader needs. However, the most notable development in South Korea's shift in policy is the consideration of directly supplying weapons to Ukraine, a dramatic departure from its previous stance of strictly limiting its support to non-lethal aid. This potential policy change reflects South Korea's growing concern over the military collaboration between Moscow and Pyongyang, which has escalated tensions in the region. In response to this, Seoul has indicated that it is preparing to implement phase countermeasures, signaling a stronger, more proactive stance in addressing the deepening military ties between Russia and North Korea. This marks a significant turning point in South Korea's foreign policy, as it moves closer to aligning with Western nations in their efforts to assist Ukraine while responding to the shifting geopolitical dynamics posed by the growing Russia-North Korea alliance. Intense discussions have been unfolding at the United Nations Security Council, where Assistant Secretary General Myroslav Jenka has issued a stark warning about the dangerous, escalatory trajectory of the ongoing conflict. Our analysis of the proceedings highlights several critical developments that have emerged from these discussions. Notably, the UN has documented nearly 12,000 civilian casualties since February 2024, underscoring the devastating toll the conflict is taking on innocent lives. In addition to the human cost, there has been widespread damage to critical infrastructure, with essential facilities being destroyed or severely damaged, further exacerbating the humanitarian crisis. Furthermore, violations of international law have been identified, raising serious concerns among the international community about the conduct of the parties involved. Through diplomatic channels, it has become clear that the UN Security Council is facing significant challenges in implementing new sanctions due to Russia's continued veto power over any proposed resolutions. This has effectively stymied efforts to impose further economic or political pressure on the aggressors. The last instance in which the Security Council successfully implemented new sanctions was in December 2017, when measures were introduced against North Korea. Since then, Russia's influence has prevented similar actions from being taken, complicating efforts to address the evolving situation. The growing involvement of North Korea in the conflict has also prompted NATO to issue a strong collective condemnation. The North Atlantic Council has described the deployment of North Korean forces as a dangerous expansion of support for Russia's ongoing war. This statement was significant not only because of its firm stance, but also because it was co-signed by NATO's Asia-Pacific partners, including South Korea, Japan, New Zealand, and Australia, highlighting a united international front against the escalation. In contrast, China's response to the situation has been notably muted, reflecting Beijing's complex and delicate position in the conflict. Despite its influence over both Russia and North Korea, China has refrained from taking any decisive action that could risk damaging its relations with these countries. The United States has specifically urged China to leverage its considerable influence to prevent further escalation, calling on Beijing to encourage restraint from both Russia and North Korea. However, China's reluctance to act decisively has raised concerns about its role in the broader international response to the crisis, with many questioning whether it will take a stronger position in the future as the conflict continues to unfold. Our analysis of Russia's military strategy reveals a significant shift in their approach to force generation and deployment. Through extensive intelligence gathering, we've identified that Russia's decision to deploy North Korean troops stems from a critical manpower shortage, with Western assessments estimating approximately 610,000 Russian casualties since the conflict began. Russia's decision to integrate North Korean forces into its military operations appears to be driven by a combination of pressing strategic, political, and legal factors. Intelligence reports suggest that one of the primary motivations behind this decision is Russia's severe personnel shortage. The country is reportedly recruiting between 25,000 and 30,000 new soldiers each month in a desperate attempt to replenish its ranks. However, this influx of recruits is only barely sufficient to replace the daily casualties, which amount to approximately 1,000 troops per day, highlighting the unsustainable nature of the current manpower situation. The heavy losses Russia has suffered on the battlefield have created a gap that cannot be filled solely by domestic recruitment, prompting the need for external support. From a political standpoint, Russian President Vladimir Putin appears determined to avoid another domestic mobilization, which could provoke widespread public discontent and political unrest. By recruiting foreign forces, particularly North Korean troops, Russia aims to reduce the domestic impact of its military needs, avoiding the backlash that could result from conscripting more Russian citizens. This strategy allows Putin to maintain a semblance of stability at home while still addressing the critical shortage of personnel on the front lines. The use of foreign troops thus provides a way to sidestep the internal political risks associated with increasing domestic conscription. In addition to these political considerations, Russia's legal framework also plays a significant role in shaping its military strategy. Russian law currently prohibits conscripts from serving outside Russian territory, creating a legal barrier that limits the country's options for augmenting its military forces. This restriction further complicates Russia's ability to field a sufficient number of troops for operations in Ukraine. As a result, the incorporation of North Korean forces, who are not subject to the same legal constraints, provides a practical solution to this manpower dilemma. This combination of strategic necessity, political calculations, and legal limitations has thus driven Russia to turn to foreign support, with North Korean troops now playing a pivotal role in bolstering the Russian military effort. Through extensive surveillance, it has been observed that the integration of North Korean forces into the Russian military has had a profound impact on Russia's overall military composition. This shift began with the arrival of an initial contingent of 3,000 North Korean troops, who were deployed between early and mid-October. The presence of these forces marked the first step in Russia's strategy to reinforce its military capabilities in Ukraine amidst ongoing personnel shortages. In addition to this initial force, further reinforcements are expected, with additional brigades totaling between 10,000 and 12,000 troops, projected to arrive by December 2024. This influx of personnel is seen as crucial in addressing the significant gap created by Russia's heavy casualties and the demands of sustaining its military efforts. Among the North Korean units deployed, special forces from the XI Corps have been trained in specialized tactics such as infiltration and infrastructure sabotage. These forces are expected to play a key role in disrupting Ukrainian supply lines and targeting critical infrastructure, contributing to Russia's broader strategy of weakening Ukraine's military and logistical capabilities. The presence of these highly trained special forces represents a significant tactical advantage for Russia, as they bring a level of expertise in covert operations that can potentially shift the dynamics of the conflict. This ongoing deployment of North Korean forces provides Russia with the necessary manpower to continue its offensive operations in Ukraine while simultaneously addressing its critical shortage of personnel. Currently, it is estimated that Russia maintains around 500,000 troops in Ukraine. The North Korean forces serve as a strategic reserve, offering Russia the flexibility to deploy them across various sectors as needed. This reserve force is intended to support existing Russian units, bolster defensive lines, and reinforce key offensive operations. The integration of North Korean troops into Russia's military structure is thus seen as an essential measure in maintaining operational continuity and ensuring that Russian forces can continue to engage effectively on multiple fronts despite their manpower challenges. Based on extensive intelligence gathering, it has become clear that Russia has developed a comprehensive strategy for expanding the presence of North Korean military forces within its ranks. Our sources have confirmed that Russian forces are actively training North Korean units at various military bases spread across eastern Russia. This effort is part of a broader plan to integrate North Korean troops into Russian operations, to deploy them in phases to maximize their effectiveness, and ensure a smooth integration into the Russian military structure. The initial phase of this deployment focuses primarily on support roles that are essential to maintaining the operational capabilities of Russian forces in Ukraine. These roles include critical tasks such as transportation and maintenance operations, which are necessary to ensure the smooth movement of troops and the upkeep of military equipment and vehicles. In addition to logistical support, North Korean forces are also being trained in drone operations, both in terms of operating unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, for reconnaissance and intelligence gathering, as well as using combat drones in direct support of Russian military operations. This marks a significant expansion of Russia's drone capabilities, as the integration of these forces provides Russia with additional manpower and expertise in this rapidly evolving area of warfare. Furthermore, the training provided to North Korean forces extends to more specialized roles, including the training of Russian special forces. North Korean troops are being taught the specific skills and tactics required to work alongside Russian elite units, which could include infiltration, sabotage, and other high-risk operations. This strategic partnership is designed to enhance the operational capabilities of both Russian and North Korean forces, allowing them to work in tandem in various military operations. The phased deployment plan is a key aspect of Russia's strategy to strengthen its position on the battlefield, with each stage designed to increase the combat effectiveness of North Korean troops while providing Russia with the manpower it desperately needs to continue its operations. We've observed that this approach allows Russia to free up its personnel for frontline service while maintaining operational security. Our intelligence suggests that future deployments will likely expand beyond the current numbers, potentially including additional special operations units. Through our monitoring, we've identified that this strategic shift represents more than just a temporary solution to manpower shortages. We've determined that Russia's growing military relationship with North Korea indicates a longer-term strategic partnership, with both nations ratifying a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement. Our analysis suggests this collaboration will continue to evolve, potentially reshaping the regional security landscape and introducing new challenges for Western military planners. Through our sophisticated intelligence network, we've uncovered critical insights into North Korean military operations in Ukraine. Our surveillance and interception capabilities have provided unprecedented access to their tactical communications and operational patterns. Through a combination of satellite imagery and ground reconnaissance, it has been observed that there has been a significant movement of North Korean troops through Russia's Far East. The monitoring efforts have confirmed the transfer of approximately 1,500 North Korean Special Operations Forces, who were transported via Russian Navy ships to the port city of Vladivostok between October 8 and 13. This movement is part of Russia's broader strategy to integrate North Korean forces into its military structure, with these troops being deployed to various training and operational sites throughout the region. Surveillance has identified several key locations where these forces are undergoing training, including military bases in Vladivostok, training facilities in Usharsk, combat preparation centers in Khabarovsk, and operational sites in Blagoveshchensk. These locations are being used to equip North Korean troops with the necessary skills to operate alongside Russian forces, enhancing the overall combat effectiveness of the integrated units. Intelligence gathered from multiple sources confirms that these North Korean troops have been issued Russian military uniforms and equipment, ensuring they blend seamlessly with existing Russian forces. To further facilitate their integration, they have also been provided with forged identification documents which present them as personnel from various Russian regions. This careful preparation is part of a broader effort to ensure that these troops can be deployed effectively without raising suspicion or encountering logistical challenges. The comprehensive nature of this operation underscores the scale of the military collaboration between Russia and North Korea, highlighting the strategic significance of their growing partnership. A comprehensive analysis of North Korean forces has revealed several critical findings about their current training and readiness. It has been determined that Russian instructors are actively training these troops in a range of military skills, including artillery operations, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle, warfare, basic infantry tactics, and trench clearing operations. This training is intended to prepare North Korean forces to operate effectively alongside Russian units, ensuring they contribute meaningfully to the ongoing conflict. However, despite the extensive training they are receiving, significant challenges have been identified regarding their overall combat readiness. Russian military evaluators have noted that while North Korean troops exhibit excellent physical conditioning and strong morale, they possess a limited understanding of modern warfare techniques. This deficiency is most pronounced in their lack of experience with drone warfare and the advanced technologies commonly employed on contemporary battlefields. This gap in expertise poses a substantial hurdle to their effectiveness, as they may struggle to adapt to the rapidly evolving nature of warfare. To address this, Russia has deployed approximately 500 interpreters to help bridge the language barrier between North Korean and Russian forces, facilitating communication during joint operations. However, intelligence suggests that this language barrier could prove to be a significant operational challenge, potentially hindering effective coordination and impacting overall battlefield performance. Perhaps the most concerning aspect of this integration is that the North Korean forces are being prepared for frontline operations. Multiple sources have confirmed that should these troops engage in combat against Ukrainian forces, they will be considered legitimate military targets under international law. Current intelligence estimates place between 11,000 and 12,000 North Korean troops in Russia, with roughly 10,000 of them stationed in the Kursk Oblast. Further surveillance of their deployment pattern has uncovered a troubling trend. These troops are being integrated into existing Russian military units, wearing Russian uniforms and using Russian-issued equipment. This strategy makes it increasingly difficult to distinguish them from regular Russian forces, complicating identification efforts on the battlefield. It also suggests that their involvement in the conflict is not intended to be temporary, but rather part of a long-term commitment, signaling that the integration of North Korean forces into Russia's military operations could be a sustained effort. Looking ahead, strategic analysis indicates that the military involvement of North Korea in Ukraine has far-reaching implications that will significantly alter the global security landscape. The growing military partnership between Moscow and Pyongyang marks a fundamental shift in international relations, one that will likely reverberate across the globe for years to come. This collaboration is poised to reshape the dynamics of regional and global security, especially in East Asia. The strengthening alliance between Russia and North Korea presents unprecedented challenges to the stability of East Asia, with the potential to upend long-standing security structures. Notably, this partnership threatens to undermine China's traditional role as a stabilizing force over North Korea. As Russia and North Korea grow closer, the influence China has exerted over Pyongyang for decades may be weakened, with significant consequences for regional security. This development increases the likelihood of North Korean aggression, potentially leading to more provocative actions by the regime. Moreover, the alliance between Moscow and Pyongyang could spur an acceleration of the arms race in East Asia, as neighboring countries may feel compelled to bolster their own military capabilities in response to the growing threat. The effectiveness of international sanctions, already challenged by Pyongyang's defiance, could also be further diminished, rendering diplomatic efforts less effective. Additionally, the integration of North Korean forces into Russian military operations will provide them with battlefield experience that could enhance their military capabilities, making them a more formidable force in the future. This increased military proficiency, coupled with the deepening cooperation between Russia and North Korea, could escalate tensions across the Korean peninsula, raising the stakes for regional peace and security. In response to these developments, South Korea has already begun to deepen its security cooperation with Western allies. Sources confirm that Seoul and Washington are working to strengthen their extended deterrence capabilities, particularly by enhancing nuclear consultative measures. This move reflects growing concerns about the evolving security environment in East Asia and the need for stronger, more coordinated defense strategies in the face of a more aggressive North Korea and its new strategic partner, Russia. Based on comprehensive analysis, several critical escalation pathways have been identified that could emerge in the coming months. One such pathway is the risk of direct military confrontation. The Mutual Defense Agreement between Russia and North Korea stipulates that both nations are committed to providing immediate military assistance if either country faces an armed invasion. This agreement introduces a dangerous possibility for the conflict to expand, potentially pulling in additional actors and escalating the situation significantly. Another potential escalation factor is technology transfer. Intelligence has confirmed that Russia may offer North Korea advanced military technologies in exchange for support in the conflict. This exchange could have a profound impact on the military balance on the Korean peninsula, as North Korea would gain access to cutting-edge weaponry and technological advancements, further enhancing its military capabilities. The growing military cooperation between Russia and North Korea could also trigger a regional arms race. Intelligence suggests that Japan and South Korea may respond to North Korea's increased military expertise by bolstering their defense capabilities. In this scenario, neighboring countries would likely seek to strengthen their military deterrence in the face of a more capable North Korean military, which could intensify regional tensions and spur a competitive buildup of arms. On a broader scale, there are signs of shifting global coalitions. Russia is actively working to form an anti-Western alliance, building stronger ties with isolated regimes that share similar geopolitical interests. This emerging coalition has the potential to shift the balance of power on the international stage, creating new challenges for Western nations and allies in the region. The long-term analysis projects several strategic developments with the potential to significantly reshape global security. One key finding is that North Korea's combat experience in Ukraine could lead to a fundamental transformation in its military capabilities and overall strategic posture. This shift carries multiple implications. First, it appears that North Korea may be using its growing alliance with Russia to reduce its historical dependence on China. This could result in more aggressive behavior in the region, as Russia has shown less interest in maintaining stability on the Korean peninsula compared to China's traditionally moderating influence. Second, the partnership between Russia and North Korea threatens to undermine global nuclear non-proliferation efforts. The exchange of military expertise between the two countries could significantly accelerate North Korea's weapons development programs, potentially increasing the risks of further proliferation in the region. Third, North Korean forces are gaining valuable combat experience in Ukraine, which could be applied to future conflicts. Intelligence suggests that North Korea is particularly focused on evaluating the effectiveness of Western military technologies against its systems, a development that could inform its military strategy in years to come. This situation has also evolved into an unexpected proxy battlefield for tensions on the Korean peninsula. Both South Korea and Japan view this military collaboration as a direct threat to their security interests, prompting them to enhance trilateral cooperation with the United States. In response, these countries are likely to strengthen their defense postures to counter any potential escalation arising from North Korea's increasing military capabilities. At a broader level, this alliance signals a strategic pivot by Russia toward building an anti-Western coalition. This shift could encourage other isolated regimes to align with Russia, challenging NATO's security framework and potentially necessitating an expansion of Western military commitments in Eastern Europe. Monitoring of diplomatic channels reveals that South Korea has set clear red lines regarding Russian technology transfers to North Korea. If these boundaries are violated, South Korea may gradually increase its support for Ukraine, signaling a potential escalation in the broader conflict. North Korean troops' first major combat disaster marks a decisive shift in the Ukraine conflict. Their substantial losses, including 500 troops and key commanders, demonstrate Ukrainian forces' tactical superiority and effective use of Western-supplied weapons. Russian attempts to address critical manpower shortages through North Korean deployment have backfired, exposing significant vulnerabilities in their military strategy. This battlefield setback carries far-reaching consequences beyond Ukraine's borders. South Korea's policy shift toward direct military support for Ukraine, coupled with strengthened U.S.-South Korea-Japan cooperation, signals a new phase in East Asian security dynamics. Russia's deepening alliance with North Korea threatens to destabilize the Korean peninsula while potentially accelerating regional arms proliferation. Ukrainian forces continue to exploit communication barriers and operational challenges faced by North Korean troops, who struggle with modern warfare techniques despite their elite status. Their combat experience in Ukraine will likely reshape military capabilities and strategic relationships across East Asia, prompting increased defense cooperation among Western allies. This unprecedented military engagement has transformed a regional conflict into a complex international crisis. Russia's strategic pivot toward building an anti-Western coalition, starting with North Korea, presents new challenges for global security. These developments demand continued vigilance and strategic adaptation as the conflict's implications ripple through international alliances and regional power dynamics. What do you think about the North Korean military supporting Russia? Please share your opinion in the comment section. Thanks for watching.